David Pearl, 79 Main Street. I have a couple questions about the hearing last night. I was curious who we were paying extra money to be there. I noticed the prosecutor was there. Were we paying the prosecutor additional money to be there?
Prosecutor's on salary.
How about the special investigator, Richdale?
Yes, he's an hourly employee.
So we were paying him to be there? Just to be there to answer any questions, or, okay. I'm a little confused about what's going on here, because I'm taking from the idea that the commission can't manage the police department, or I don't mean that can't, that they're not able, but they're not supposed to. And it's supposed to be the chief's job. But then we have all the people for all the specific items showing up, and you guys are talking to them, and the chief is over here like a bystander commenting on it. And I'm a little lost of what is supposed to be going on. I don't understand why we ask one of these officers to come in, whether we're paying them or they're here on salary, to sit here and then come up here and do 5 minutes of reading a memo that the chief should know about. He is responsible for everything that happens under him, and it's my understanding that he should come to this meeting, report to you, you talk to him, and he goes back and runs the police department. It seems like we're having a little bit of both right now, and the worst part is there's things on the agenda that people are not prepared for. The prosecutor's car use is on the agenda, but we're getting information thrown out from the audience about the details. Nobody seems to have the details, so it gets put on the agenda again. The other thing is that it seems like these ideas are coming from the public, and the chief's acting like he arrived yesterday and says, yeah, it'd be a good idea to clean up the Sally Port. Well, he's been in charge of the Sally Port for 10 years. Why is the Sally Port in the condition it's in? Why didn't the chief come back every meeting and say, I need money for a storage unit. This is unsafe for my officers. I need money. Every month you could say, no, we're not going to get the money, we don't have it. But every month he could come back and say, this is needed. He doesn't. But the minute it's brought up, he jumps on board and says, we've got to do this. I will do this. So I don't see who's really running the show here. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. But from where I'm sitting over there, this looks like one of the most inefficient operations I've ever seen. I think we also need to take a look at reducing the paper that's generated from this place. Listening last night to how an officer types a report, prints it out, somebody transcribes it back into the computer. It just boggles my mind in today's electronic age that even these reports that you're looking at, they should be able to put these up on a screen and look at these things. We generate tons of paper, which costs us money for paper, costs us money for people to generate it, saying nothing about the environment and getting rid of all that paper because it could have sensitive information, else has to be shredded. So I'd like to see something happen here, because it is getting more and more frustrating for me as a taxpayer to watch the level of inefficiency, and every time something comes up, it's like, we'll change. But not, why were we doing it this way in the past? Why has it been this way? And I'm frustrated with it, and I can understand why the town cuts this budget and cuts this budget, because every time you think it's cut, more and more inefficiencies surface. So I think the chief needs to step up and do his job, or as I suggested, resign and let somebody else step up and do his job. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Chief, I got a question on the heels of this. The people that you bring in here to assist you, are they getting paid? I know we have salaried employees. Are the salaried employees getting any compensation and time off for coming and working here?
They may get a few hours here and there, but everybody knows on salary that that's the name of the game.
Okay.
What does that mean? They may get a couple of hours here and there?
They may allow them to leave 2 hours early on a day or something like that.
So there is a form of compensation, if you will, of their time.
Yeah, to be fair.
Instead of working 40 hours, if they're here for a 4-hour period, you'll grant them 4 hours?
No, it's not an equal for equal. Just look at what, you know, how many hours or what their assignment has been or whatever.
How about the hourly employee?
An hourly employee is paid hourly.
So in this instance, the sergeant would be making overtime?
Not today, I'm not adjusted my hours for this week.
Yeah, his
So-
hours were adjusted, so he's on the clock right now. He's not being paid overtime.
He's working right now?
I'm also concerned, I'll reflect some of the stuff that David's said, because I've come in here about scheduling. I think, you know, a simple $500 software package, maybe a $1,000 software package for scheduling, which could be ported onto the computer system so that everyone could universally gain access to it or through, you know, a key code or something of that nature. So you can see a master schedule. Would also provide analytics to everybody, including yourself, in regards to how things are running efficiently, because it'll immediately, if there's something, there's someone in charge of that master schedule, they could go in, input it in the software, it would go up to any of the terminals, or everyone could come in, sign in, and take a look at it. But I think it would give you the analytics of what's really going on in regards to overtime and stuff of that nature.
I was also curious about this agenda as well, and I guess I came from a different, we all saw this thing, and I was kind of wondering too.
What's that?
I'm wondering, then I have a different take on it. Is this a new format? We've never had this kind of format where other officers are actually assigned different agenda items to discuss rather than the chief going over them. I was just wondering if this is a new format that's been undertaken. You've already addressed the overtime issue that I was going to ask, but I'm wondering if this is something new that we're going to be encountering. Or you're not aware of it. It just happened
I will
today.
say that it's a new agenda, because it isn't a new agenda. I guess what some of these items, and I'll certainly address what Mr. Pro was saying along with Mr. Lizotte, okay? I see items that we talk about, and after a while, it becomes very discouraging
Yeah.
for me,
Yeah.
because I'm the type of person that wants to see something get done and let's move along. And I guess what I have done is taken the attitude that I'm gonna put these on there and they're gonna move. They're gonna
By
move.
bringing the guy in who knows it and
And it's not to bring, not necessarily to go in that direction, but that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna move these things along,
Right.
okay? And as I said earlier this evening about the overtime, this has been, I'm not gonna say a pet project, so to speak, but has been an area of the budget that we felt that we needed to address. And we've tried different measures. So it's come up repeatedly, and I have to say that Captain Daigle has been the one who's been willing to work with me to do an analysis of where these costs were coming from. And it all started as a result of looking at the monthly expenditure report. And I would question either Francine or whoever, but he was the one that took the time to do the analysis where these costs, you know, were associated with. And we decided to go with it and to find some resolution, and that's what we gotta start to do. We can't keep on putting these things on monthly after month, putting them on the agenda and not getting anywhere.
If you recall earlier, I brought up the time card issue. I brought up the fact that we learned that there's separate books are being kept. Some are being kept in one spot for the salaried employees. Timesheets are done a different way. I'll say it now, and now that this has come out, I'll let you know that I will not sign off on the payroll manifest if I know that somebody is getting comp time for appearing here, or somebody's getting paid overtime to be here. And I will be checking on that. That's why I did what I did brought up the issues tonight. So,
Okay, thank you.
And
Appreciate your